I remember when Players Ball came out, and the video came out on like Yo MTV Raps. We all sat around and were like, okay, this is cool, but I wasn't really sold. And then one day I was in Rasputin's Records in Berkeley, and Hootie Hoo came on the loudspeakers. And like living in the Bay Area in like the East Bay near Oakland, it kind of reminded me so much of like an Oakland kind of vibe, like almost like a Dope Fiend beat, kind of bass line.
Yeah.
And that I'm like, okay, I got to buy this. I went right to the front counter and I bought it. And then I got to listen to the whole thing, and then I got it. The rhyme style is like this, but the musical bed behind it is something that you hadn't really seen in hip hop before.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really what fueled that fire. That was the most important part of that movement, was the fact that like how hard we were going as Organized Noize as far as trying to be accepted in hip hop. And we knew that, like we took so much into that, man. Like we dug into the crates, man. Like knowing, like finding loops and breaks and stuff that nobody else had used in hip hop. Because if you found it, you've been done put it out. There's one thing about hip hop: once you get it, you're gonna go and get it out because, like, it's popping. You know that hip hop respond. That was one of the ways to get into hip hop. It was like if you came with the hot new joint, you had a lot of artists that was one-offs that would put something out and they gone, but they had a banger. But they, you know what I'm saying? Like that was the importance. We felt like we could get them in with a banger too, but their rapping skills were gonna have to keep them in, or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah.
Well, I read L.A. Reid's book, and at the end he said something kind of interesting, because L.A. Reid is the one who signed Outkast to begin with, and then kind of got your whole careers up and running. But he said he spent his whole career trying to find the next Rolling Stones, the next U2, the next Coldplay. And it wasn't until years and years later when he was at Coachella and he saw Outkast perform that he realized he had his Rolling Stones with Outkast.
Yeah.
The grandeur in terms of what that project became finally hit him later on. But initially, he ended up passing on the project.
Yep.
Well, you got to remember now, LA was not he didn't know anything about hip hop. You feel me? He was, they were dealing with LaFace Records, and LaFace Records was, closest they came to hip hop was probably doing Bobby Brown. You feel me? And they had some new acts that they had signed at LaFace, but he wasn't knowledgeable of it as a music source. So he had to entrust in us, and what he taught us was about melody. You feel me? And it allowed us to take, him and actually Pebbles, because Pebbles was influential in our development also, because she believed in us first. So with her support and his technical expertise that he conveyed in his sense of saying we need to make sure that the melodies of the songs are not just rap stuff, you know what I mean, that it could be bigger than that. Once he did that, we put that to task, you feel me? And the result was Outkast.
Right, because I think ever since the TLC biopic came out, Pebbles was kind of portrayed as a villain in the music industry. But she was the one that really pushed for you guys.
It's unfair, too.
It was unfair, yeah. But at the end of the day, yes, she was the one that pushed for us, man. She was the one who, in an unselfish way, she had a record label, and she saw the greatness. She was like, man, y'all need to be with L.A. He has a bigger deal. Y'all need to be somewhere over there. And she was really saying, being honest, y'all need to help him. He needs something like this. He needs to stop following, trying to catch this person. He need to get somebody that's pushing it forward. And by him giving us, because that's the best part about Antonio Reid. He told us, like, I don't really get this rap, but I like y'all, and I believe in culture. You guys is cool. So you tell me, like, really giving you the confidence, like, y'all tell me what's hot and what's hip. So I'm like, we knew we had the power. So we got some kids that was 16, 15, 16, and kind of was molding them into like, what they brought to us was the skill set we needed that was East Coast, where we felt like we can get to New York. You know what I'm saying? We're going to give y'all some undeniable music, and y'all going to sound like some people that they going to be able to digest. The Southern dialect you can't change, but you going to fucking be out spitting. You're not going to be saying lyrics that somebody done said before. You're not going to be We're not gonna be doing songs that other people done did before. We're gonna be coming with a very original. That, if nothing else, the study of it was that if we play by the rules, original beats, original concepts, sonically bumping as loud as the last Tribe or as loud as the last Too Short, making sure your shit is hot, whatever just out this last year, go get all them albums, listen to them, make sure you finish mixing your album, it's just as loud. That's where it was about that. You'll lose sometimes because you're in the club, they'll play this record, they'll play your record, and they'll be like, your record too low, they not as cool, even though your record might be banging. So I feel like that's the New York way. That was the New York way. So like we played by those rules or whatever. Like, and that got Outkast, like you said, and you got the best story you said. I didn't really know on that first single. New York didn't know. New York would not play that record, man. Like L.A. Reid was sharing the billboard, sharing the sound scan with us, showing us how like, yo, you just got 7 ads in Ohio. Nevada just added it, but it started in the Bay. That radio station out there, KML, whatever, KML. They were the big dog, and it was the New York station. And if either one of them do it, the other stations in the country would take a chance on the record. We was bubbling. We was really bubbling. New York would not play this record, and Players Ball was almost gold. So it was jumping. We did a remix. Might have been a remix of it. Mm-hmm. And we took not saying we took the pretty out, but we took all that melody and stuff out. We just made it a beat.
We took the Christmas melody out.
We took the melody out and just made it a piano. Dun, dun, dun. Just made it some real simple thing or whatever. And Sleepy's song, the beginning of it, Cadillacs are coming from everywhere. I promise you, we released that with the same song. New York jumped on it and shit went over the top. And the only reason why we knew to do that is because we looked at them sound scans and it was saying, New York not fucking with you, B. They not fucking with you. We went up to New York. We was working with Positive K. We had met with not Funk Flex. It was Funk Flex dude, the one who passed away. The Big Cap. Big Cap. Yeah, all these people was trying to sincere. They was trying to help us break this record. They was just keeping it being like, man. And they was being so patting on the back, like, man, just give them a chance, man. You know, New York funny, like give them a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like almost like people just they wanted to make sure when no Al and the Ill Scratch type of shit. They wanted to. They want our shit. They want that shit to be all the way through there. For real, it was a lot of that popping up. Like people were solid, but they ain't want somebody who just got off on the hit record. Like what's the dude's name? Domino. It was like people were bangers. The West Coast. It was like people was getting on because their music was right. So people was looking at the Outkast record like they getting on because their music and that singing hook. You know what I'm saying? Like we understood that. Yeah, I'm saying that's why you said later on you heard Hootie Hoo. That was one without the singing hook. That was an album cut. That wasn't never no single. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the single was Southern Playalistic, another singing hook. Then it was Get Up, Get Out with CeeLo. So like hearing those other joints kind of help you appreciate this was an authentic rap group.
So speaking of the singing hook, like Sleepy, like when I first heard the hook, the first thing I thought was Curtis Mayfield because I was a huge Curtis Mayfield fan at that point. I mean, still am. I mean, was that something that you tried to do because you were a fan of him, or did that just sort of come together organically?
Yeah, that was something we were trying to do. When we were in the studio doing it, Ray was like, yo, to be tight, we kind of did like, a kind of Curtis thing on top of it. So it was meant to be like that, you know what I mean? And what was cool about it, after we did that and everything, we worked with Curtis Mayfield. And I remember being in the studio working on his last album, New World Order. And I remember he was in the studio and he was like, Steve, I really like what you did on that record, man. Like, keep doing it. And I was blown away, so. It was definitely on purpose because I'm definitely a fan of it.
I mean, you weren't worried a little bit that Curtis was like, "Hey, man, you took my style. Like, I want to check it out."
It'd been crazy to be like, "Yo, Slee, don't do that shit no more."
Hey, absolutely. And at that point, I didn't realize because that Sleepy Father has the same voice, the same Sleepy Father. Jimmy Brown sings in the same voice, but the fact that so that's where he got it from. But being honest. Yes, that was us thinking from a production standpoint. Yeah. Like, not an artist from a production standpoint, man, do some Curtis shit. Yeah. Put that Curtis vibe on there. And it's like, same way we did Southern Playalistic, we was doing a Parliament vibe. It's almost like, but to meet George and to meet Curtis and for them to be like, because I straight up went to both of them like, hey, man, we was kind of on your vibe. Man, you ain't took nothing, man. You ain't took, you know what I'm saying? Y'all did good. Keep going. Y'all authentic. When people, they looking at it like, man, I know who biters are. You guys, you keeping the funk alive.
Yeah.
I say, you know, when we took Southern Playlist of Cadillac Music, we put the words together, we was following you. Man, yeah, of course I can see that, but but y'all are it. You're doing something. You're making people goddamn want to pay me for more stuff now. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, when you guys worked with Curtis, was that when he had been paralyzed already or before
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
Okay, so he got hit by, I think, a lamp,
Yeah.
by like a big light fixture, and he ended up getting paralyzed from the neck down.
Yep.
Right.
So you were working with a paraplegic Curtis Mayfield.
Yes.
Yeah.
How involved could he have been at that point, you know, in that kind of state?
He be honest, he wanted it.
Yeah.
This is his wishes. Like at this point, we had we made contact with him because his son, Todd had his old studio, Curtom, and at this point, Outkast album had already came out. So we was kind of popping in Atlanta, and we could use any studio we wanted. So we went and got Curtis Mayfield studio or whatever to really help the Mayfield family out or whatever. Because like, man, let's keep that thing going or whatever. And by doing that, quietly it got us into where eventually Curtis might have reached out and he wanted to work on the album. He asked would we mind helping. It was, of course we would like to help, whatever you want. And that's when we got a chance to find out that that he loved what we was doing, that it inspired him to want to work again or whatever. Yeah. And so we was like, what can he do? He said, nah, he's singing. He just got to do it at his studio, at his house, where he said he set up to do it at or whatever. But we cut the songs. He wrote the lyrics. We might have wrote the hook on one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, but he went in and once we sent him the track, he said he liked them. I remember we got a call from callers, hey man, Curtis feeling good today. Cause he was on he died probably a year after that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so this is like his last wishes. This was like, you know what I'm saying? So more than anything, it felt good to be able to be a part of that, helping him do something that he wanted to do, that he was paralyzed from the neck down, you know what I'm saying? And felt like he needed to do this or whatever. So they said he had his good days. He had his good days. When he had his good days, he'd go in and say, man, he sing all day, cutting vocals on all different songs or whatever. Like, so yeah. Yes, that's how we didn't get a chance to hang around him a lot during the process, but we did get with him and talk to him or whatever. And he did a great job with it. But like I said, we didn't have to produce the vocals on it. He did it himself or whatever. Just, you know what I'm saying? You know, he could do it all. He's been doing it his whole life. So I think it was important that he continued doing it at the end. He needed nobody to hold his hand.
Right.